Hello and welcome to Fire in the Belly Boardroom Talks. And today we have myself, Mighty Pete, and Mike Armstrong is here joining us today. Hello, Mike. How are we getting on?
Oh, everything's great for me at the moment. So yeah, great. Thanks.
Brilliant. So Mike is an author, speaker, mentor, and podcaster. So yeah, Mike, that's quite a collection and quite a title there. So it's great to have you on here. And also to put it into context, we were lucky enough to have Mike on our Fire in the Belly life stories. And yeah, so we have a bit of background, a bit of history with you, Mike, as well.
Yes, it was a very good experience being on the podcast. So thanks for that.
No, not at all, not at all. So today we're talking about really building relationships and helping others. So what does that mean to you, Mike? Give us a bit of an overview, will you?
Literally, all my life I've been helping people. I'm a Libran. I was born in September, so I was one of the oldest in my peer group. And being the oldest in your peer group, you naturally help some of the youngers, the ones in the peer group and below. Also, as I mentioned in my life story, my mum and dad got divorced at 8. And my mum and my brother are both quite emotional people. And they needed some strength around them at that time. And so I used to help them through that situation, I suppose, because I think I'm a bit more emotionally tough. And so I was able to help. And so I suppose I've, from an early age, the age of 8, and in school and whatever, in peer groups, I've just naturally been a leader, naturally been someone who's, towards the front or at the front, generally at the front, and somebody who's willing to help other people and share experience, knowledge, skills. I'm a lifelong studier of psychology as well. So, really getting to the crux of, maybe what's wrong with people and how you can help them. I think I've been in management since 18. So again, I've always had to help my team and, help motivate people, inspire people, educate people. So it's just something that I've just naturally done, I think.
No, it makes sense. So really in that time, and interestingly, and as in the title, you talk about building relationships. So what is a good and healthy relationship to you?
Well, the be all and end all of any relationship is communication. So I think it's important to effectively be able to communicate with whoever it is you are, whether it be a partner, a boss, a colleague, a child, a parent. If you've got the communication wrong, then you're not going to really be able to understand each other well. And then that causes a load of knock-on effects then. So I think communication is key, but also, tightness, bond, trust, elements of love in lots of relationships. All of these things are important in a relationship because, the more you build those bonds of love and trust and respect and all that sort of stuff, the stronger that relationship will be, and the more benefit each person in the relationship gets out of the relationship.
That makes sense. And if I remember rightly, that overlays with quite a lot of your values as well, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. At the end of the day, I'm a people person. That's why I've gone into sales and marketing, why I go into training, why I've gone into personal development, why I'm helping people at the moment with all sorts of things, because I love people. And to be honest with you, I'd rather do stuff for people than money.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm building an army of people that like me and trust me and trust my judgment, etc. Because I've impacted them in some way, I've helped them in some way, either in their life or in their business, or whatever I've helped them in. And that to me is worth more than any amount of money. Some people don't get it; they don't understand. Most people won't do nothing unless there's monetary value to it. Yeah. But what I've understood is a human being, if you get them on your side, a human being is priceless. Yeah. So if you're going to do a deal for someone for $5,000, you've made $5,000. But if you do a deal for someone and you get value of the person in the deal, then you've just done a priceless deal. Yeah. So ultimately, if you've got loads of those priceless deals in your business and in your life, you're extremely, extremely wealthy because you've got a million priceless assets that you can call upon whenever you want to help you achieve what you want to achieve.
Interestingly, what is it do you think people mostly want out of a relationship?
Well, I think people want mutual beneficial. Generally, most people go into a relationship of some sort because there's something in it for them as well as something in it for the other person. So it's a win-win relationship. And ultimately, any relationship that's not win-win, there's a loser. You know, there's somebody who's losing out on the deal for somebody to be winning on the deal. And that's not a good basis of a relationship, because if somebody's losing out, then they're going to feel bad. They're going to feel like they've been done. They're going to feel untrustworthy, and they're going to not want to do business again, or not want to go into that relationship again, or with somebody of a similar sort of way, really. So you've lost the chance of being able to do whatever it is you want to do with that person in the future because you didn't offer a win-win deal at the start, or you didn't go into the relationship understanding that there's two sides to the relationship and both of you got to get something out of it. So a lot of friendships, for example, form because you've got somebody who likes to give help and support and talk, etc., and problem solve, and you've got somebody who wants help and support and are good at listening. You know, so there's a lot of friendships form like that, where there's a perfect symbiotic relationship between two people who are both getting out of the relationship what they need.
That makes sense. So take us back a bit then, Mike. You know, talk to us about finding your why.
Okay, well, I spent my entire life chasing my goals, my dreams, my ambitions. I've always wanted to be successful. I've always wanted to be able to help people. I've always wanted to be able to do that on a big basis, global basis. I'm a big thinker, an ambitious person. And so all the things I've done in life was driving me to either be an MD of a massive company or an MD of my own company. And ideally, one of my own company, which I know bears my soul, my reputation, my values, and everything else, because you know it's hard to impact that on somebody else's company ultimately. So, so I've always been driven to do that, you know. So to build my own company, like Richard Branson, really, in order to be able to help the planet in some way. As I mentioned in my history story, I was inspired by Richard Branson. I think at 11, I believe in having fun and enjoying life to the max. So, you know, I chase my dreams because otherwise I'm spending my time building and chasing someone else's dreams, and that's not going to fulfill my fire in my belly. He's not going to give me the energy and the creativity that I need to achieve those dreams. So I've been on a journey of personal development and life development, getting towards my goal and dream, which I thought was to build my own company and to help as many people on the planet in business. But actually, since being on the Fire in the Belly podcast and going through a cathartic situation of my life and what I think about my life and what I've done and achieved or whatever, I actually think that my fire in the belly is actually just helping people, you know, in whichever way. So not just in business, but just in life. Because all of a sudden, since the Fire in the Belly podcast and me crystallizing what my life ambition and dream is, people have been coming out of the woodwork, coming at me. The universe is sending people to me, and a lot of them aren't business people, although some are, and I'm helping those business people. But a lot of them are actually just people who are suffering with mental health issues, etc. Because obviously the timing of the situation in lockdown, you know, which is when I've actually gone through this transformation. The timing of the situation is obviously there's more people out there that need the help anyway, but also, you know, the message come to me that I don't just need to help business people, which is my passion and what I love, but I could just help anybody. I've already helped some people in my life overcome mental health issues. I probably myself had some, you know, mental health issues or just lack of drive, lack of ambition for a while in my life because of, you know, one of life's adversities. And so I managed to get myself over that. I managed to get a few of my friends over some bad situations as well. And all of a sudden, it's like as if I told the universe that that I can actually do this. And so these people have been coming to me, like, you know. So I started a hashtag positive coronavirus news to help people, you know, feel that there's some positivity in the world and not just negativity. And I've created a podcast, which I'm putting similar sort of motivation and positivity on. And it's like as if these things I always wanted to do, but never quite had the crystallized why I wanted to do them. And since I crystallized my why, bang on laser target, rather than I was scoring like 2s and 3s and 4s dotting around the target, and now I'm sticking one arrow in the middle of the target and all the other arrows are firing into the arrow. Yeah, and I'm so laser targeted on my why and what I'm doing and all the things that I wanted to do in the past but didn't quite get around to doing. I've now got the energy, the passion, the enthusiasm, the fire in the belly to tick these things off like as if they're going out of fashion. And I've got the time in lockdown and the ability in lockdown to actually get them done. So that's what I'm doing.
That's awesome. I mean, that's amazing feedback and great to hear that, you know. For me, it's what I would describe as almost finding the golden thread. So it's the needle in the haystack, but when you find it, it is, as you say, it's the crystallization, it's the understanding of the why. But you're 20 years getting to this point of literally sowing the seed and planting it, but the focusing of the effort is going to be huge, right?
Yeah. It's funny how the other day somebody posted a post onto my social media, which was a link to Jim Rohn about keep sowing the seed, the sower, the fable of the sower,
Mm-hmm.
and all that sort of stuff's happening with me right now. It's just everywhere I turn, messages that tell me I'm on the right path and I'm doing the right thing just to keep appearing. And I'm on social media all the time, so you can imagine how much like energy and vibrations I'm getting from the activity that I do, which is a lot, but also the messaging that's coming my way. And I've been so Facebook advertising is there, right, to target you and target adverts at you. But I've been looking to follow lots of this sort of content and funnels and all sorts of stuff for a long time. So rather than actually having a load of adverts trying to get me to spend money, I've seen it as Facebook is sending me all the content that I need for free,
Mm-hmm.
and other people are paying for it in their advertising, and it's teaching me everything I need to do to keep firing these arrows at the arrows.
Yeah, I love that because that's it is the compounding growth. And I know in Essentialism, I think the book, and they talked about whether you're pointing your effort in 6 different directions, and of course it is divided, your effort and your focus is divided 6 ways, or if it's laser focused on one thing. So it's the concentration of power, that focus, and that sort of absolute crystal understanding that like light would shine through a crystal. It is that one
Yeah.
ray and one focused energy source, which is
That's right. Yes, it's putting all your power, all of your effort, all of your skill, all of your knowledge, everything that you spent learning over time, because you knew you were dotted around the target, so you were on target and on focus, but you didn't quite crystallize your why. But I've spent my life learning skills and knowledge and getting experience so that I can keep firing those arrows rapidly and just keep splitting them and keep getting the scores going, ding, 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 up and up and up and up and up. Because like it's ridiculous how focused I am right now, because I've been in the right spot all my life anyway, and I've been chasing the right thing all my life. It's just sometimes you need something like the Fire in the Belly podcast or some catalyst to actually just fire you into full Olympic gold medal performance strategy, rather than just an almost wannabe or whatever. How many times have you seen sports stars making finals, and all of a sudden they're winning finals, winning finals. And it's just because a little bit of 5% or 10% they need extra, which they stayed in the game, they stayed in the fight, they kept sowing the seeds, and all of a sudden that 5 or 10% puff magic 100% formula made itself open to you, or found its way to you.
And I find it so interesting, and it's a great analogy there. I love that because it is the difference between being at the Olympics or not being at the Olympics. It's the difference between, sort of bronze or gold. It's the last couple of percent. It's the bit that you keep going when everyone else has gone home. You have belief when everyone else has stopped. It's being consistent, persistent, resistant. You're just constantly at it.
Yeah.
Which is
To me, it's a tipping point. If you keep doing the right activity, you're in the right queue, and you keep pushing in the right direction, the momentum will keep going. Eventually, you will reach the tipping point, and then all you need is a feather. You know what I mean? Just one thing, anything. You know what I mean? You put so much weight and so much momentum behind, that energy and fighting that weight, that eventually just a feather comes along and it's like, bang, you hit the tipping point. You know what I mean? You've achieved what you wanted to achieve. Finally, it's happened after all those years.
So tell me, what pattern or what have you consistently done to get you to this point?
I've consistently believed in myself and kept chasing the goal that I knew I could get. So I've consistently, been focused around that goal, and I've consistently learned skills which I knew would help me some point in the journey of achieving my goals. So I've kept at it, kept learning skills, kept becoming a master, kept training, you know. And I found a master, a grandmaster who'd already been there to learn from as well. So what I've basically done is do what, you know, most kids do when they take up karate or judo or whatever, is they go through the steps. They learn all the different skills and the techniques. And eventually they learn off a grandmaster and they become the grandmaster.
It's a bit like, and I can't remember the book, but they talk about, you know, the 10,000 hour rule. So it's 10,000 hours to become the expert.
Yeah, I've heard that.
It's
almost true. Yeah, you know, you can't replicate the time. You've got to put the time in.
Yeah, and it's and also the book I'm trying to remember. It was called Acres of Diamonds. It was something along that lines. But yeah, so it was. Listen, the nuggets are all around you.
I'll have to make a note of that, Acres of Diamonds, because I'm a massive believer in the icon of diamonds, because a diamond is made by being put under massive pressure.
Yeah.
And I've been under pressure my entire life, and I believe it's what turned me into a diamond.
It's no, it's so true. But I mean, it's all, the expert comes, it's not, it's the consistent actions every day. And like anything, it's like, goals need to be so big that it's almost, the brain can't even fathom how it can be. However, what the brain also doesn't understand is the compound effect necessarily.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you eat an elephant? It's, one bite at a time. It's consistent, persistent action.
And sometimes you've got to go chase a goal or a dream that's so beyond you that you've got to turn into the person that's capable of achieving it. And I think that's the goal and the dream that I've always had, has been beyond me, which is why it's going to happen, because it's beyond me so far that I've had to keep learning my entire life to get there.
Yeah,
which is what I've done.
But like a seesaw, or as you say, that the tipping point. Eventually, when you compound so much growth and so much input and so many learnings, etc., that actually it's the universe actually can't put up any more of a fight, and not the universe does. It's free flowing, but
it gives in after a while, because it knows that whatever happens, you're gonna just keep going.
So this sort of Mike is not going home, so you may give it to him. So
yeah, exactly. Like, this guy really wants it, so let him have it.
Yeah.
Because I'm giving up now. They give up before you. It's a battle of wills, isn't it?
Yeah,
battle of wills. You versus the universe. Like, which one's going to win?
So in terms then, and what's in the sort of flow state that you're in? So you're in an implementation phase, really. So how do you see that panning out for you?
Well, I would say I'm in the phase of I've been spending my entire life on a runway heading towards a destination I wanted to get to. And I was building up speed. So, started off at 10, 20 miles an hour, worked my way to 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. And now I'm at 100 miles an hour, full speed ahead, looking for that major gear stick, which is just going to take me off to massive growth. That's where I'm sat right now, in my head and in the environment and in the world. As far as I can see, that's where I'm at. Everything is 100 miles an hour. I'm producing content like it's coming out my backside. Coronavirus and lockdown has helped me with that. What Grant Cardone teaches, because I sort of study quite a lot of Grant Cardone, is that the most known will always beat the best. And, if you can be both, if you can be the best and the most known, then great. And I'm probably up there with the best, or, I'm up there with an ability to be the best. But, whether I'm the best or not right now, who knows? That's to be determined in the future by other people. But what I am is on a journey to become the most known. And so, I can beat the best anyway. And then once I become the most known, I'll do everything I can, lifelong learn and carry on until I am the best. But, that's other people's opinions. I'm competitive myself, but not for other people's purposes, but for me, for what I want to achieve, what I want to achieve for me, because I believe I can. And that's the only reason I do it, really. And the other major reason why I do it, I suppose, is because I like helping people. And so I've spent a lifetime building up relationships with people that I'd love to be able to impact and help in some way. So if I can do what I believe I'm capable of doing, then I can help all the people that I've built up relationship with along the way to actually maybe do what they're capable of doing. So I believe massively in paying it forward, etc. So I want to get there for me, but I also want to get there for all those people that are in my life and have helped me somewhere along the journey.
So that ties in quite nicely. So you're saying obviously the building of the relationship and helping others. So helping others is almost core to, it sounds like it's one of your values, but also then to the building relationship. So that is, as you go along, it's understanding and listening to other people, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I talk a lot, to be honest with you, and most people who know me know that, but I do listen as well, and I'm a good listener. And not only do I listen, but I take it in and I play it around in my head because I'm thinking about how I can help this person and, why are they being put into my life or whatever. So I'm a thinker, I'm a strategist. So listening is important, but it's also being able to take the information in, analyze it, and work out what you're supposed to do with that information.
How does that play out in your head? Do you see it visually, or is it, excuse me?
It's like a puzzle. It's like a
okay.
Rubik's Cube in the head, really, all numbers and stuff in different places. And you just got to sort of work out where the numbers belong and where the places belong and how the shape's supposed to look and whatever. I'm a lifelong puzzler. I love puzzling. I love testing my brain and exercising it because I'm a solutions provider. And the better my brain is, the more switched on it is, the better I can find the solutions for the right incidences. The more I can help.
So in times like now, when you're in a flow state, it's just the ideas are coming to you. How do you capture those ideas, and how do you start to actually put them into place, and to build the relationship to help others as well?
Well, I was massively into chess when I was a child, and I like all sorts of strategy games, etc. So I put everything down to the metaphor of chess. Really, first of all, you've got to understand what does your board look like. So you need to understand the shape of your board and what your universe is, and then you've got to understand where all the different pieces are. So a big part of it is understanding, what is this person in my life for? What are their skills? What are their tricks? Because it's all right having all the pieces in the right place, but if you don't know the rules, you can't move them. So you've got to sort of like be able to work out and know enough build enough relationships and know enough about people in order to know their moves. And then you can actually start moving the people around the board and playing the game.
Sure.
So I think that's what it looks like in my head.
Cool.
But I'm a strategy. I love strategy of everything. I play pool strategically. I look at and analyze football and rugby matches and stuff. I watch like Welsh rugby matches like live, and then I watch them the next day. Then I watch the highlights on Scrum 5 because I'm interested in looking to see how all the pieces did and which moves they did and how the game was played and which grandmaster played the best game and all that sort of thing. And that's why I love sport, because sport's a real battle of will and of strategy and of teams and of skills playing against each other. And as I mentioned in my life story before, I had a life of sport as a child. I was into all sorts of sports. So, I'm massively into analysing just anything and everything, competition and winning. I just love strategy. I'm currently strategizing what the UK government's going to do with the lockdown situation and stuff. And then I'll give myself some ticks if I was right, and I might give myself some crosses and, okay, you need to know a little bit more about that bit or that bit, because that didn't come into your strategy. But a lot of the time I think these big picture things, and I'm looking at seeing what the government, and they do what I thought. They did, because I'm a logical thinker and I'm a strategist, and usually a team of people coming up with strategy will come up with the most logical strategy that's right for the right success. So if you're used to thinking that way, then you're going to often be close to the mark. I watch a lot of reality TV programs as well, and I love Simon Cowell, because Simon Cowell is in touch with the human race, and I am too, because I make the same calls that he does, exactly the same time and place and stuff. It's just about being in tune with people in your environment. So I can always predict like who's going this week, who's staying on, whatever, who the public will vote in the final or whatever. Because when you're in tune with people and you're in tune with life, that's where popularity comes from. That's why someone like Simon Cowell is popular, because he makes popular opinion choices. Whether you like him or not, a lot of people don't like his manufactured stuff. Yeah, I don't mind it. I like house music and stuff, but I'll take the manufactured stuff as well. But I'm into popularity, what works, because I've been in sales and marketing all my life. So it's about what works, what's popular. It's about being in tune with the popular opinion, because you're going to get more success that way.
Makes sense. I mean, what what would be, your sort of, I know you're prolific in terms of marketing and networking and things like that, both online and offline. Where would your natural skills lie, and what sort of lessons have you learned through that?
Well, probably way too many to go into right now, but some of the top ones, if you like. I've been networking week in, week out for 8 years at Wales's biggest business network, which is Interbiz. And I'm an ambassador there. And one of the big things about networking is turning up. So, like, literally, I've not missed any events, maybe one, maybe two, over like an 8-year period. So consistency, turning up, being there, is important. So that's a massive lesson which I would teach anyone in networking. It's like, what's more important than growing your business? Yeah. So, like, if you can't book out an hour or two to go networking at least once a week with a group of people that you want to build relationships with, and you want to have a look at your life, and you want to have a look at your business and see where the priorities are lacking, because sales and marketing is 90% of a business survival, is 90% of business. Everyone can have a charity or a hobby or whatever, but doing business is making money, and making money is getting new customers, and going out networking is finding those customers, or going online networking is finding those customers. So 90% of any business success, any business that's making any money and doing well, is sales and marketing. And so, if you're not going out regularly, meeting new customers, then, there's something wrong with you, in my opinion, And so, and also, networking is local, and that's getting your local customers. But the internet is being able to network online. So you can go. So if you're not looking at that, then basically what it says to me is you lack ambition. You don't want to be national, regional, European wide, global, whatever. You just want to be local. Well, that's fine, stay local. I don't work with people like that. I used to try and help people like that. But what I've realized is I'm too ambitious to, I need to, in order to get me to where I need to get to, I need to work with the other ambitious people, which is, again, why I've joined other networks outside of my locality, ones that are maybe a little bit more forward thinking, full of people who are, maybe outward looking globally themselves, coaches, trainers, speakers, people who want to excel in their field, and also help spread their message around the world. So I've joined the Outstanding Network, which is where we met, which is run by Pat Slattery, who's a guy who's managing and working with a lot of these people, and coaching them and stuff. And a lot of what I've been creating and doing since finding that group recently has been, because of the new relationships and networks that I've been forming and forging. Because I think in my networking to date, I've met some really key bishops and knights and whatever, but I've met a lot of pawns as well, and you need the pawns, send your message, etc. But I've also joined, the Outstanding Network group recently, and it's given me some more, kings and queens and knights and bishops and lots more pieces, which I'm using at the moment now in my Grand Master game to get to the results I want to get to, So Interbiz have given me lots of those people as well. Some of my best friends, in business and out of business, are from the networks, because I go in there not to do business, but to build relationships and to build friendships, because I know business will come from there anyway, whether it's from them or whether it's from someone they know or the universe. Business will come. Just build relationships. Just get out there and build people, help people. By helping people, you build up trust. So when somebody knows you, great. Once you help them, they trust you. Yeah, so they got to they like you. And once they know, like, and trust you, they'll do business with you, or they'll at least recommend somebody to do business with you.
Makes sense. It's, trust and business will flow.
Yeah. Exactly. It takes a while for people, especially salespeople who are results driven, which I am. It takes a while sometimes for salespeople to get that message. I managed to get it quite quickly because I like helping people, and I'm fairly strategic as well and knowledgeable. But some salespeople don't. They miss the point of networking, and then they're trying to do deals all the time, trying to close people, sell people, and what that's doing is not building up the like and the trust. So sometimes salespeople may not be the best people to send networking. I think the best people to send networking are managing directors, operation directors, finance directors, people who do the buying as well, so that you can actually get the orders and pass them to your sales guys to knock them off but you also can do the buying as well, because in order for a network to work, it's got to be circular. So you've got to be able to buy and sell from the network. So most of the networks that I belong to, I won't turn outside of those networks for anything that I need, because I'm letting energy and part of the circular emotion, I'm letting it escape. So I believe in keeping that energy and keeping that circular motion in the network.
I think, as you said, the momentum that is built up in anything, once the momentum has started, like a car or anything else, that the hardest part is to get started. And once you have got started, then, you know, just speeding up is a much easier, you get much more sort of results for your effort.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it can take 3 people to push a car, yeah, from the starting point. Sometimes 3, 4, 5. I'm a big fella. I get called in to help people out all the time, you know, and I like helping people. So I've pushed loads of cars in my life, including my own. And it can take, you know, 3, 4 people to push the car to get it going. But once it's actually going, especially if it's going slightly downhill or on a flat or on a nice surface or whatever, you can push it along with a finger.
It's a great analogy for life, really, isn't it?
Exactly.
Takes help from others to get you going, and then once you do, it's much easier.
Yeah,
Oh,
you know, maybe that's in my destiny to write a book on or something, because I got a million books in my head whirling round, and I just can't wait to start writing them.
cool.
So I've written one recently in lockdown, and I'm just going to start prolifically authoring all of my experiences, lifelong learning, get it down on paper for people to learn from me.
Mm-hmm. So tell me this: you're very much in a creation and inspiration phase, right?
Uh-huh.
How does how does that feel, and two, you know, how do you make the most of that?
Well, how does it feel? It feels fantastic, because I'm goal orientated and I like lots of small, medium and long-term goals. And like I said, some of my goals I've had swirling around in my head for a long time, but now I'm in the phase of creating and getting them done. So it's giving me like just buzzes constantly, because I'm just like, wanted to do that, done it. 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 You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. So, you know, I love achieving. I've been a lifelong achiever. I love chasing targets, goals, dreams, ambitions. I'm massively aware that sometimes people give in when they're so close to achieving what they want to achieve. And and that's why I just stick at it, you know, just constantly stick at it. Because I don't want to be one of those people. And I know so many people do it. They give in just when they shouldn't have. Or they get into a bit of flow, but then out of it, and then they give up then, or whatever. You know, sometimes that wasn't the main flow. That was just the 20 to 30 miles an hour flow, or the 50 to 60 or something. But you need to get up to that 100 miles an hour. And then once you're in that 100 miles an hour, keep creating the content that you need in order to put your message out there and what you're trying to achieve. And you'll take the massive lift off you want to get in order to get to the destination you want to get to. So the content is all part of that rapid lift off now, like, you know.
Absolutely, it's amazing how it's all sort of coming together for you, you know, and to see that all, you know, hitting the ground and running.
Yeah,
What
it's amazing to experience, let alone to see.
What do you think is possible?
Everything is possible.
I love that.
It's true.
Mm.
So, you know, some people aren't crystallized on that, but they should crystallize on the fact that everything is possible, because everything is possible.
So what's your goal then?
So my goal is I'm a global, I'm an author, speaker, mentor and podcaster. And what my goal is to be the leading global author, speaker, mentor and podcaster in my space. So the top man on the planet at what I do.
And what's your space?
Well, sales, marketing, networking, building relationships, helping people in that space.
Mm-hmm.
I would say is being a philanthropic, awesome entrepreneur.
I like that. What's your signature?
I'm Well, what most people would say about me, I think, is that I'm a people person. That's what I would hope they would say about me. So my signature is being a people person, people centric.
And would you say people get you? Do they fully
Yeah, well, I think
understand you?
lots of people do. The ones that are people centric, and the ones that get me. Yeah, there's lots of people who don't get me. They probably think I'm nuts. You know what I mean? I would think I was nuts if I didn't live what I'm living. Like, you know, I'd probably think I'd be open to being flexible. I'm a very flexible and adaptable person, and I believe you should take people as they are. So I probably think I was a bit nuts, but I love crazy people. I like eccentric people. I like people who are a little bit different, you know. I like all people, though. I like people. So, you know, but there's definitely a little space in my heart for crazy eccentric people, like, you know.
Mm, that makes sense. And would you say that's your superpower?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, my superpower is, I would say, a gift of communication. So being able to talk
Mm.
to as many people as possible, and adaptability, flexibility, um, wisdom. I think, you know, and strategy. You know, they're all my gifts, really.
Mm. So give us
And
a summary
a
then,
kind heart.
kind heart. I
Which
like
I
it.
get off my nan, who was from Dublin. You know, like my nan would, she was widowed at 40. She had 4 kids, and she was working 3 jobs. And if she only had 50 pence in her purse and you asked her first, she'd give it to you. And I didn't realise how much I was like her until like more recently. I've always helped people all my life, but like more recently, I've I've infinity X'd my help. Yeah, I'm not going to put 10x on it because that's what Grant Cardone teaches, and that's fine, that's good. But to me, you know, possibilities are endless. So I'm not going to put a cap on it because, you know, that might be too belittling someone else's dreams or aspirations. So, you know, but I'm infinity X in my help and my support. And if I can infinity X other people in the process, whatever infinity looks like to them, then that will keep me on my journey, and keep me buzzed and enthusiastic in order to help other people, really.
So summarize first then in terms of building relationships and helping others. What are the key points there that people should be looking out for and sort of taking on
Well,
board?
I think, you know, the key points in building relationships really is to be adaptable enough to find common ground between you and the other person. So rather than just saying, well, you know, that's not my kind of person, or, you know, I'm this way and they're not that this way, so I can't mix with them or whatever. A lot of people only try to deal with and mix with people who are into the same things as them, or from the same culture as them, or, you know, the same experiences as them, or whatever. Whereas actually, every human being on this planet has something interesting about them and something interesting to add. And actually, the more you can adapt yourself to all of those people, the more people you'll have in your life, and the more people you'll be impacting. So I think that's one of the keys, is to, you know, have the right mindset in order to want to be able to learn enough about someone to find that common ground, and be flexible enough in your own interests and life to be able to adapt and invite and be warm into somebody else who's maybe very, very different to you, but who still shares some commonality. At the end of the day, all human beings, we all love to be loved. We all want to be liked. We all you know, don't mind being helped from time to time, although I'm not a massive fan of being helped. I'm very independent. But if somebody just randomly helped me, I'm going to like it, and most people will. You know what I mean? So, you know, we share a lot of common stuff, even though a lot of people think we're different, and a lot of people like to play on those differences. But ultimately, I'm about, you know, trying to meet and help as many people on the planet as I can. So ultimately, one of my biggest strengths is the ability to be able to communicate what I'm feeling, or how I think we might have some shared ground, or how I can help, or whatever, and also wanting to help. You know, not just wanting to exchange business cards and look at the other side of the room, or wanting to, you know, build up my followers' numbers, but not getting engaged in liking or sharing. You know, not that shallow, empty relationship. but something that's a little bit built on a more depth, a bit more bonding, a bit more beneficial to each party.
Tell me this, how do you empower?
Or others,
Hmm.
how would I empower others? By hopefully educating them that there's different ways than say the traditional way of view of the world. You know, I'm not a massive fan into education because I don't think education teaches people the real skills they need in life. It teaches them the skills they need maybe to get a job, and even though it doesn't really teach them the skills for that, but it teaches them how to conform and fit into society structures, and that's good for some people. Some people like comfort so much that they don't want to move outside of that, but it doesn't really teach them the real skills that everyone needs in order to get on in this world, like relationship building, like efficiency, like looking after yourself in order to be the best you that you can be, like knowing how to communicate with people, like being told to chase your goals and your dreams, like the financial knowledge you need in order to build wealth, rather than the sort of knowledge they teach you, which is like nothing or don't get a loan. The stuff that keeps you boxed in and keeps you restricted. So, my empowerment, I suppose, is giving people that knowledge, that information, so that they can chase their own goals and dreams rather than working on someone else's.
I love that. I mean, that's, and that's a lot of what, really you're covering in the podcast, and indeed sort of, I know for me, finding the fire in the belly, and you're looking at the empowerment side as well, really, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, I think we are a symbiotic relationship, because I think in order to find the why, sometimes people got to go and reflect on their whole life again. So I think if I can send people to you to find their fire in the belly and to discover their real why, even if they're close to it but are dotted around it, get them to be laser point on it, and then I can help them then with the getting up to 100 miles an hour and the uplift. So I think, we were supposed to meet because we're part of each other's destiny, and we're both going to help each other achieve what we want to achieve in the future. So that's how I see it.
Absolutely, and that's what it's all about. And it's the epitome of building relationships and helping each other. That's it is symbiotic, and I think that's a great way of summarizing it. That it's a win-win. And
Yes.
as with any network, as with anything else, as you say, you may not be able to help each other directly, but it could be emotional support. It could be via connection. It could be just giving feedback. So there's 50 ways to help somebody without it being the traditional sort of let's do business. It could be let's sort of information swap. Let's just be aware of each other. Let's give feedback, etc. And people overlook that, I think, sometimes in networks.
Yeah, well, massively. I've been trying on a mission for a long time to get networks to not just network with each other and do business with each other, but to become lead referral partners to each other. So to find other people to feed each other, so that you grow that way, because that's like a 10x or a 20x or an infinity x way of growing. But also to like and share each other's content, so that you connect online, and then that content goes out en masse, which means that nobody can miss it. Yeah, it's the power of multiple people and the compound effect, etc. So I believe all networks and all groups of people shouldn't just be trying to do business with each other, but they should be lead referring with each other, sharing each other's content online, giving compliments and general acts of kindness and random acts of kindness, just to help improve the motivation and the energy in the network, etc. But also then collaborating, partnering, the mentees finding the mentors, so mentoring the mentors, menteeing the younger people, but learning off the older people, finding your position, all that sort of stuff. If you can build those structures into a network, then you've got yourself like a cell that is unbreakable. It's unbreakable. It's just a solid, massive energy which is going to go off and help everyone in that structure, in that team, achieve whatever it is they want to achieve.
No, it makes sense, and there's so much there. So, listen, Mike, it's been absolutely fantastic, and thank you very much for coming on. Just remind us tell people how they reach out to yourself and how they get in contact.
Yeah, well, thanks very much. It's been awesome for me too. So brilliant. How to get in touch with me? Well, hashtag Mike Armstrong or hashtag Mike Armstrong podcasts, and you'll find more information about me and my podcasts on social media. If you go to my website, which is mikearmstrong.me, there's plenty about me and plenty of content on there for people to get in touch with and engage with. If they look at Mike Armstrong quotes, they'll find motivation and positivity quotes online, and they can start putting their own quotes out if they want anything that resonated with them from my podcast or from my content or from this interview. And they can reach out to me on social media, searching for Mike Armstrong, Michael Armstrong, MA Consultancy or Welsh Biz, and they should find me on most things. I've got loads of Facebook groups. I've got loads of ways of engaging with me because I want to engage with as many people on the planet, and I want to help as many people on the planet. So I make myself easy to find. So there's 1,700 Mike Armstrongs on LinkedIn. I'm currently the top one. There's also, if you Google search Mike Armstrong, there's billions of them on the planet. I'm in that first page space, and I will be dominating the top space and the whole first page soon. So soon you'll be able to search me globally, Mike Armstrong, and you just find me, because that's my mission, to be found so I can help people. You
are the Mike Armstrong. I love it.
I am the Mike Armstrong, yeah. And there are a lot of famous Mike Armstrongs in my space, which is great for me because it gives me proper competition. If I had an unusual name, I would just get to top spot straight away, and that wouldn't be very fulfilling and not very educational. So Absolutely. It's like as if I'm supposed to have my name in order to be able to accelerate and learn what I need to be the Mike Armstrong.
Awesome. And for simplicity as well, we're going to put the link on our website. So it's fireinthebelly.net/Mike Armstrong. So we're going to link back everything there for people to make it super easy for them as well. So great. It's great to share. Well done.
Brilliant.
Mike, thanks very much.
I hope you have a good day.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.